there are a lot of people that I know having young children and kids in middle and high school even, that those people are not only fearing that they might be losing their jobs soon, or they have recently lost their jobs. Sometimes it's one parent, sometimes it's both, and it's a little scary for them to think about, where am I pivoting to? And, with the popular terms like rage applying, which means people are not happy with the work situation, that are applying to multiple jobs. Or there's another term, shift shock.
Shock.
Yeah, assess shift shock. Like you just changed your job, like you just bought a house and you regret it. You just changed your job. You're not sure if it's the right one for you. So I definitely welcome your thoughts in general. Like it's the first time for us to really talk about and hearing these terms.
Yeah, well, let's take those two one at a time because they're both so different. So maybe let's start with the kind of the things like the world that we're in now with the uncertainty and the job loss, et cetera. So what's interesting is that there was a time, just to kind of frame this, but there was a time when the American dream was went to high school, you went to college, you got the job, or you maybe got a good union job out of high school and you stayed with that job and that company, through the duration, you took care of the company took care of you, you were there for a long time. And we know that a lot of that shifted and changed. A lot of that shifted and changed for economic reasons, but also companies started doing things differently, and the climate around them changed. And it seems like that there's a lot more of mergers, acquisitions happening, downsizings, the things happening in the economy that are much more volatile. I mean, we've seen an age where companies could skyrocket to the top really quickly. Well, that means that something can skyrocket down just as quickly. And so we see more volatility, but we've sort of hung on to a fantasy that things are stable. And when we don't live in a very stable world right now, we look at what's happening geopolitically, look at having politically, we look at what's happening with schisms and beliefs. We look at what's happening with religious factions. We look what's happening with the environment. There are so many things that are going on that make the world less stable and more changing all the time. But we want to get back to this place that's stable. Why is that? That's because what human beings crave. They crave a level of certainty, predictability, and stability, because there's so many choices. They don't want to have to deal with them all. They want to have something kind of set and safe so they can limit the choices they're dealing with. And it's a survival technique that's, from evolutionary biology. But the world doesn't work that way anymore. And so we need to really embrace the volatility of the world. And people would say to me when I made a move out of, C-suite level jobs in big corporations, why would you do that? Why would you leave the certainty of that behind? And I thought, there is no certainty. There's only the illusion of certainty. Now I don't have that illusion. And so I manage it. And so my life is much more stable because I'm prepared every day for all of my work to dry up or for something brand new to come in that earns me multiples. It could happen any day, and I'm ready to go whichever one happens. I know which one I'd prefer, but I'm ready to go with whichever one happens. And I have made the choices over time and to say, if I'm going to stay doing this, I have to have X set aside and be ready for this, plan for this, don't do this here. I really need to think all that through. So we really need to get better at thoughtfully managing our lives and our careers and what the career possibilities could be. And I find myself doing that now with clients that are in organizations and set, and those that are outside and are entrepreneurial, both saying we need to think through what's the universal possibilities, which ones would you want to go to, how do we bring those opportunities in closer so you have more optionality as you go forward? Because the world, I don't think, is going to get more stable. It's going to get less, and we have to be ready to deal with that. And it's not necessarily the smartest or the best that are going to win. It's those that are ready to deal with the uncertainty, I think, that are going to do a lot better.